as the front of the field bound to make its way through turn 8 then, and onto the start finish straight. Will be a very, very short run into the first chicane. Can Draper get the drop? Here we go, green flag, and it's Draper that leads away from Finn Irons as the pack comes racing through into turn 2. Finn Irons shadowing Lou Draper very, very closely as they go towards turn 3, and Irons has to tuck in behind as they disappear under the dip and into turn 4 before getting ready for Vale, and they're about to come rushing through then, and Lou Draper still at the head of the pack, or is he? No, Finn Irons has made it through into the lead. He raises his fist there, and it's Irons 2P1 there as the pack comes racing through. Looks like Morgan took some of the beer, getting defensive into turn 6 as another car tries to overtake there, but it is Finn Irons that has snatched the lead at turn 4, and our top 3 are breaking away here. So it's Finn Irons, Lou Draper, Max Andrews has held on to 3rd. Not a great start for Henry Walter. Taylor Barnes has got through, and then it's Kyle Gaffney 6th. Andreas Dimitriades is in 7th position. We've got an anonymous car in 8th. Oliver Coe is 9th, and 144 rounds out 10th position. So then, Finn Irons waves to the crowd, but there's a threat from behind in the form of Louis Draper, who will be desperate to get that position back. Barnes has pulled a bit of a gap to Henry Walter, but look at Dimitriades and Kyle Gaffney fighting away. Kyle Gaffney not able to get through as the rest of the pack comes rushing through into turns 6 and 7. A little bit of a move as Gabriel Nurse loses a position near the back of the field. But for Irons, he's defending desperately. Round the outside goes Louis Draper through turn 2. Can he complete the move into 3? It's Irons that's got the inside. It's a long way round for Draper, and there's no room. And now Max Andrews may fancy a run at him as well, as we see a little bit more consternation in the middle of the field. Oh, and a spinner at the back. Oh dear, didn't quite see who that was. Side by side for the lead, and Draper's trying to go back up the inside, but Irons puts the squeeze on, has to go back to the racing line, and is trying to hold on around the outside through 6 and 7. Finn Irons having to drive the widest car ever, and look at Max Andrews. Andrews trying to go around the outside of Lou Draper onto the start finish straight. He's surely not going to be able to complete that one, and sure enough they rush through, and it's actually, I believe, Max Andrews that has had to stay behind in that red suit and red helmet. You can see the big M on the back of his suit. Keep your eye on Taylor Barnes in 4th. He is starting to close in. I think Henry Walter has lost a place to Dimitriades. So Dimitriades up to 5th then, as the rest of the pack comes rushing in behind. So it was one of the Walker brothers, I believe, that spun. Had a bit of an issue as Barnes is really ducking his head down. You can see from the GoPro footage that he is visibly closing on the back of Max Andrews. So we've got a good 10 minutes left in this first sprint race of the day then, and Finn Irons has driven brilliantly to take the lead on the first lap, but Louis Draper has not given him any respite at any point here. Irons only now just starting to pull half a second away. Andrews might well start looking over his shoulder at Taylor Barnes, and Dimitriades just 2.2 seconds behind is Taylor Barnes. Henry Walter, meanwhile, is fending off the attentions of Kyle Gaffney. Through they come. The order remaining the same then. Walter sees Gaffney, and Murray-Ager taps his helmet quizzically as there's a move going on the back end of the top 10. Oh, there we go. Lovely stuff from the man in the black suit and black helmet. Believe that may have been not Elliot Gregory, but Oliver Coe and Gregory having a little bit of a competition over 9th position with Oliver Coe, it seems, coming out on top at the moment. But look at Murray-Ager having to get very, very defensive there at the back of Kyle Gaffney, with Oliver Coe right behind him. Look at Finn Irons, desperate to break away in his Charles Leclerc style helmet from Louis Draper, of course. Draper's charge ever so slightly starting to halt here, as Murray-Ager is getting back into the battle for 6th position. as it's all very, very competitive from 10th downwards, really. Look at this. Oh, not a great lap from Finn Irons. You can see Louis Draper is closed within 3/10. Hits this middle sector that Irons really is able to drift out and to take up slightly more aggressive lines to try and escape. Mariega lifts his hand at, I believe that's Kyle Gaffney right in front of him, and now Henry Walters closing in as we see a little bit of side-by-side further back. Oh, and Walker's in the wall again. That's terrible news right at the back there. I believe that's Colin Walker that is backed into the wall, and he's now in last position. Let's look at this. It's Henry Walters side-by-side. Into turn 6 they come, as it looks like Fish is in a little bit of a battle as well. But not long left in this race now, as it's slowly building towards a climax here. Finn Irons, 6/10 ahead, has just got to hold on for another 7 minutes more from a relentless looking Louis Draper. Here he comes now, looking over his shoulder. Finn Irons having a much better lap this time around, has pulled the gap. So the order is Irons, Draper, Andrews, Taylor Barnes in 4th, Dimitriadis 5th. The car 144 is in 6th though. And then behind him is Henry Walter and Kyle Gaffney still fighting away. So I believe that is it is yes, the driver of car 144, I believe, is fallen away from my memory. So Finn Irons 9/10 ahead now with 6 minutes left to go. The top three starting to break away from Taylor Barnes and Dimitriadis. There's another spin into turn 3 that clears up quickly. Here comes car 144, that is Mariega, of course. Henry Walter behind him, and then of course Kyle Gaffney. So Gaffney's starting to lose out here. Here is Ash Chivers and Walker fighting away for with Gabriel and Nurse just in front of them in the battle for 13th place there. So Ash Chivers holding on resolutely. There's a yellow flag at the final corner. Can't quite see who that is that's dropped back. But coming through now is Finn Irons. Louis Draper 8/10 behind, acknowledges the yellow, does Finn Irons. Max Andrews 3rd with Taylor Barnes 4th, Dimitriadis 5th. Mariega in 6th, then it's Walter. Oh, Walter has got Oliver Coe all over the back of him now. So I think it must have been Kyle Gaffney that has spun to 21st. To the back of the grid there, just behind one of the walkers. Yeah, Finn Irons, if anything, starting to stretch his legs. 2 seconds ahead of Louis Draper there, so I wouldn't be surprised if Draper argues that Finn Irons got on the power a bit earlier from the yellow flag than he did. Let's look at Oliver Coe all over the back of Henry Walker, but remember, not in the same class. Oliver Coe in the juniors, and Henry Walter, one of our lightweights if memory serves. Dimitriadis, by the way, has closed on Taylor Barnes. The gap just less than a second then. As we go into 4 minutes left to go. Henry Walter, oh, Oliver Coe nearly on the grass there, right next to my commentary box, as there's a huge train of carts behind Henry Walter. So it's Oliver Coe, then it is cart 138, Elliot Gregory, Mike Bennett, Lawrence Seagrove and Gabriel Nurse. I think they're all tucked together then. Finn Irons. Oh, up the inside goes Oliver Coe to turn 3. Oh! And somebody's gone around there. Oh dear. I think that might have been Elliot Gregory in trouble there. He's lost the position, I believe, to Mike Bennett. Dimitriadis continuing to close on Taylor Barnes, but time running out. 3.5 minutes remain in this race, but Finn Irons has done an absolutely spectacular job at the front of our junior field, as there is Gabriel Nurse holding up a train of cars. Has made a lot of progress from the back of the grid as Gabriel to get into 13th. He's right behind Lawrence Seagrave as well. Finn Irons, though, 2 seconds still ahead of Louis Draper, and he's actually lapped one of the walkers, I believe, 158. Back of the field. If anything, Draper is starting to be closed in by Max Andrews. Barnes holding up well to the pressure that Dimitriadis is throwing at him in the battle for fourth. Murray-Yeager's got fifth all to himself. Henry Walter still under attack then from Elliot Gregory in ninth. It wasn't Gregory that hit trouble earlier. Apologies. Gregory tries to position himself to the outside for 6 and 7. Not quite able to get through. Meanwhile, Walker is holding off Ash Chivers. That's Dan Walker, of course, in the fight for 15th. Very, very close and congested outside the top 10, of course. Finn Irons, 2.7 seconds over Louis Draper, with Max Andrews just a second and a half now behind Draper. Barnes visibly being closed in on by Dimitriadis, the Cypriot, yet to give up. Murray-Yeager looks over his shoulder, but it's clean air between himself and Oliver Coe, who's fought his way up to 7th. Not the case for Henry Walter, who gets very, very defensive against Elliot Gregory. Gregory to the outside. Needs to be careful because Lawrence Seagrave is closing on the pair of them. Gabriel Nurse now defending that 11th position for everything he's got. And Gabriel Nurse has made quite the habit of being a fantastic defensive driver in this championship so far. There is Gabriel Nurse coming through turn 3. Oh, that's not Gabriel Nurse, sorry, that is Henry Walter, I believe, getting back through on Oliver Coe there. Coe briefly got ahead, but Walter struck back on the infield section there. Meanwhile, Dimitriadis is all over the back now. Taylor Barnes in the fight for 4th. We have got 1 minute left on the clock, and Henry Walter knows he has to keep the pressure on. And look ahead of him more than anything as they're lapping some traffic. This could be an opportunity for Oliver Coe at the penultimate corner now, trying to go around the outside into turn 8 now is Coe. Walter, though, in that Damon Hill London Rowing Club helmet, has been extremely good at using his metaphorical wing mirrors. There is Irons, who has actually pulled away from Draper to the tune of 3 seconds now. And you can see Max Andrews also starting. Oh, look at this. Barnes has lost out up the inside. Goes Dimitriadis into turn 6. Dimitriadis up to P4. What a drive he has put in. Murray-Yeager now actually sees, I believe, somebody closing in to the back of him as Oliver Coe trying to go around the outside of Henry Walters as Finn Irons is about to start and has started the final lap of the race, I believe. No, I think Finn Irons has won, as I believe everybody's slowing after the checkered flag. So they're all rushing through now. It's Finn Irons that takes victory from Louis Draper, Max Andrews, Andreas Dimitriadis on the final lap, sneaking past Taylor Barnes. He crossed the line a 10th of a second ahead of him in 4th position. It is Murray-Yeager in 6th, Oliver Coe in 7th, Elliot Gregory is 8th, Gabriel Nurse is 9th. Cut 138 rounds out the top 10 with Mike Bennett 11th, Henry Walter 12th, Morgan Turk-Sommervere 13th, Lawrence Seagrave is 14th, Dan Walker 15th, Ash Chivers dropped down to 16th in the end. Cart 130 was 17th, David Rollins was 18th, Colin Walker 19th, Badley Trevitt was 20th, Carl Gaffney and Cart 158, which I believe was the other car near the back. All of them hitting trouble then in the first split 2 race of the day.
Well, we're joined by Finley Irons, who picked up the win in race number 1. Very, very exciting first few laps.
It was tense, hot as well, very hot. But yeah, I think I handled it quite well. Tried to get the guy behind me because it's a very different weight class to work together, because I was aware that there's another junior driver in 3rd place. So I tried to work together to get away from him, but I just had the pace and managed to pull away. So yeah, it worked out well.
It looked like once you kind of pulled those 4 tenths to Louis, you were able just to build on that ever so slightly every lap.
Yeah, I was just focusing on my lines and without defending. I wasn't looking behind me. I didn't need any more pressure on myself, so I just focused on what I was doing. I know what he was doing, and if he caught up, he caught up, and he didn't in the end. So, yeah.
Well, a nice cool race win. What's the plans then moving up to Split A for race number 2?
Well, hopefully get in the top 5, and hopefully, if like it all goes well, get a win. But you know, what can you do if you don't? Top 5 will be good. Top 5 will be really good.
I'm loving the big aspirations. Best of luck for the race.
Yeah, thank you very much.